Hi, welcome to 4 Minutes of Film with me, Rhianna. Now, since the last 4 Minutes of Film, really sadly, we've lost Philip Seymour Hoffman, who passed away. He was a fantastic actor. Everyone had their favourite films of his. I loved him in The Ides of March, but I also loved that he could do these really serious, hard-hitting films and then come back and do something like The Hunger Games and fit in really well with that. So we'll all really miss him. So on today's 4 Minutes of Film, we've got the Dallas Buyers Club, we've got The Invisible Woman, we've got Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and we've got Robocop, and you can hear what happened when I spoke to the cast. But let's start with Mr. Peabody and Sherman. A dog and his adopted son, you know, I'm not saying this is a realistic film, go on all these time-travelling adventures around the world. He's clearly a very talented animal.
Peabody, that was amazing! Paul, wasn't that amazing?
I'm more into rock and roll. I meant flamenco.
I like this film because it's basically an animated version of Doctor Who, which I'm a massive fan of. I love time travel, and this film genuinely made me laugh, which not many animated films do. Kids are going to love it because there's so much going on, it spans so many eras, and they're being educated without realising it, which is the trick. So 4 stars for Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Next film is The Invisible Woman. So this film's about the meeting of Charles Dickens and his very, very young mistress, Nellie, and they meet for the first time here.
At last, we have a full company, Mrs. Turnham. Welcome.
What a beautiful theatre you've built.
Thank you. I'm glad we have tried. Miss Maria, welcome.
Thank you.
You had a good journey, I hope.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dickens. It's quite comfortable.
Good. And you must be Miss Ellen Turner.
I am.
You've met my eldest son, Charlie, of course.
He kindly rescued my glove, yes.
Ah, a gallant chevalier.
I'll be honest, I was expecting a really, really dull, slow period piece here. And although it is very slow moving, for me it felt measured, and it felt like you had enough time to go into the detail of the film, which was really important, and it was all about the nuances. It's not, it's not hard-hitting action, let's be honest. So Charles Dickens is played by Ray Fiennes, who also directed the film, who gives a fantastically brilliant performance and is very charismatic. Felicity Jones, a little bit stiff, but on the whole, I really enjoyed this film. So 4 stars for The Invisible Woman, and next up is Robocop. So the original was done in 1987. I wasn't even born then, so it's about time they did another one. Joel Kinnaman, who's relatively unknown, he was in The Killing. He plays Alex Murphy, who's the cop who essentially is very nearly killed. He's blown up. But then Gary Oldman, as the Doctor, fuses his body into this machine, which becomes a robot, a Robocop. And his devoted wife is played by Abby Cornish. And this is what happened when I spoke to the cast.
Detective Murphy brings him down.
You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
I spoke to Joel earlier and he said, first, I was like, what was your first day on set like? And I just went, oh my God, it's Gary Oldman. What did you say to Joel on that first day?
I don't know. I mean, bless him. God bless him. He was in this suit, squished into this thing for 12 hours. I never heard him complain.
That is impressive.
Never complained. I know he was very, very hot inside it, but
it's very hot outside it as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman is actually pretty believable as the cop, who can be a completely emotionless robot 1 minute and then a really loving, devoted dad the next. Plus, proper fit, so worth for that. It really annoys me, the hydraulics in this. Every time he moves, you hear this like zzz, zzz, and you're like, we get it, you're a robot. But there is loads of action that will keep you happy. Gary Oldman is a legend, as always. He kind of plays a more complex character of his version in The Dark Knight. So 3 stars for Robocop. And finally is Dallas Buyers Club.
Do you like this dress?
This is the true story of Ron Woodruff, played by Matthew McConaughey, who's told that he's got 30 days to live, he's HIV positive. So he goes to Mexico to buy a lot of drugs that aren't approved in the US, sells them to the quite desperate gay community, and then strikes up a really unlikely friendship with Jared Leto, who is unrecognisable in this. Check it out.
Bless your little heart.
This obviously tackles a really difficult subject, AIDS, but it's Matthew McConaughey who just astounds me in everything he's in now, because he just keeps showing his range. He always does that southern charmer, but he always twists it in a way that's different every time we see him. And Jared Leto is incredible in this. We've seen the pictures before, but he's unreal in this film. So 4 stars for the Dallas Buyers Club. Next week, I've got a lovely little interview from Nick Frost. We've got the Lego Movie, which I'm really excited about, and George Clooney and Matt Damon are back in The Monuments Men. So if you liked what you saw today, subscribe here, and I'll see you next week for another 4 Minutes of Film.